Grass has been burnt. Join the Rastafari Experience Antigua this Sunday, 22nd December, for an annual winter solstice experience. Hike to the volcanic megaliths that align with the stars. Green Castle Hill. They gather Sunday at 1 p.m. at the Ebenezer gas station. Contribution adults $25, children are free. For more information, please call 721-0010 or 721-3773.
Wake up. It's your birthday, and your birthday gift bag from Photogenesis, Art Paradise, is waiting. It's the Birthday Club on Observer Radio. Be the first caller to grab that gift bag. Happy birthday! This is Observer Radio.
Stay locked to Connecting with Dave Lester Payne, right here on Observer Radio 91.1 FM.
Priest Isaac is with us, and Priest, we continue.
Yes, you see, a lot of us, we're not aware of the whole movements around us. I know we see the sun rise and we see the sun set, and, we take it for granted. And I'm not speaking that we have life and we're alive. I mean exactly what is taking place when the sun rises and when the sun sets. Do you know the sidereal day has a 4-minute difference from the solar day? All of that is very key, meaning that in the rotation and the earth revolving, it creates an apparent vision for us. Apparent means that it appears as if the sun is rising. It appears as if the sun is setting. All of that is very key. This the way that the Almighty created where we are in the universe to give us this visual outlook is very important. I marvel at the moon. The moon itself, the moon is just like a stone throw away, man. It's just there, I think, just a couple 100,000 miles. But yet still, the sun is 93 million miles away from the planet, So, in fact, the distance from the earth to the sun is basically the same distance from our moon to the sun. Yet still, when you see a full moon, it appears as if it's the same size as the sun, to the point that that's why you could have an eclipse. When the moon passes in front of the sun, it casts this shadow. It looks as if it's so perfectly fitting the sun, but the sun is so far away, and the size of the sun, I mean, a million Earths could hold in the sun, but it has to do with the distance plus the size. And all of this was so well designed by the great architect, meaning the Most High, that from this distance, it appears as if the sun and the moon is the same size. So I'm saying now, obviously, the sun doesn't really rise and set. It appears so. The stars look like they rise and set too, but it's the same thing. The stars in the north and the stars in the south, they seem as if, you check the words, as if they're just going around in a circle. That's why we have a pole star, a northern pole star that's just always there. It doesn't rise, it doesn't set, it doesn't spin around. It's just the way that it has been designed. So astronomically now, there is a 4-minute difference between the sidereal day and the solar day. A sidereal day is the days of the stars. A solar day is the day of the sun. So for the sun, you have 23 hours per day. But for the star, you'd have 23 hours and 56 minutes. So in other words, if, let's just say the star Sirius, just picking a star, was to rise in the morning the same time as the sun. So you look at the sun and the star Sirius is right next to the sun. You may not be able to see it because the sun is so bright. That means that the next morning, the star Sirius will rise 4 minutes before the sun. And then the next morning is going to add the next 4 minutes.
As it appears.
As it appears.
Right.
It's going to appear to rise 8 minutes before the sun, and the next day 12 minutes. Meaning that the stars have a different clock than the sun. So that what we call a day is a solar day. You have a sidereal day. You even have a lunar day. The moon has its own day too, but we run with the solar day. You understand? So I'm showing you now that it's just like a clock. It's like a minute, like the clock has a minute hand and an hour hand. One takes an hour to go around, one takes a minute to go around, and the other take how long? You have a second hand too. So you have the second, the minute, and the hour hand, and they all take their own time to go around. So I'm saying that because the earth is in that position and the sun and the stars have two different clocks, what happens is that in the 365-day period that we call a year, on these specific dates, the sun and the stars would collide at the same time every year. So where the sun is today, like today, what day today is the 16th? Next year at this time, the 16th, the sun will be in the same place. But next year, the year after the 16th, the sun is going to be in the same place. But tomorrow, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, the sun is going to be moving away from the stars that it's joined to right now. So if it's in the constellation of the Scorpion, tomorrow is going to move 4 minutes away from this, and then the next 4 minutes, and the next 4
That's
minutes.
where the astrology aspect comes in.
Very important, because a person has to be celestially literal. It's like you're literal in English, you need to be literal in the stars, because the Bible says, Psalms 19 says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiworks. Day unto day uttereth speech, night unto night showeth knowledge. That's why the wise men, according to the Bible, could follow a star to find where Christ was born. I do not believe that they were walking behind a moving star. If that's the case, that was a satellite. You understand? Stars don't do that. It means that these magi, these great warriors, these great kings from the east,
They could read.
they could read the stars. So they understood the reckoning of the heavens and where this was at this time. And they said, hey, according to the prophecy 2,000 years ago, when the sun is in the Virgin constellation and the moon is under her feet, the child should be born. Because that's what it says now. Revelation chapter 12 says that there was a woman in heaven and she was clothed with the sun, and the moon was under her feet, and on her head was a crown with 12 stars. And how we interpret that is that when you look up in the heavens, because that's what it says in Revelation, in the heavens. When you look up in the heavens, there's a constellation, a very key constellation known as Virgo, the Virgin. And during the time of September, when we do the fall equinox, the sun is lodged inside of this constellation. Just quickly for those who may be missing the point. A constellation is a group of stars that give a impression. So you have groups of stars that looks like lions. That's the Leo constellation. You have a group of stars that look like a scale. That's a Libra. Scorpio looks like a scorpion. It really does. Capricorn to me more looks like a unicorn, but they say it's a goat. And the crab and these things, they actually, mimic these animals. That's why it's called the zodiac. Zodiac is Greek. It comes from zoo, Z-O-O. Zodiac. Zodiac. Most of the zodiac animals are animals, a few people. You have Gemini, for example. So the point I'm making now is that during the time of September, the sun is in the Virgin constellation, and at any given time, the moon would be actually under her feet. Remember, Revelation says there's a woman in the heavens. She was clothed with the sun, and the moon was under her feet, and she was in travail. She was to deliver a man-child that was to rule the whole world. And if anybody understands their horrible scope, because people follow it all the time.
What you call it, the horrible scope?
Astro misguide. You will know that after the Virgin constellation, it's the sign of Libra. Libra is the scale. Now, if you follow the sun actually passes through 12 key constellations that we call the zodiac or the ecliptic belt. So when you study it good, you see the sun coming out of the Virgin in September, and then it go into the scale in October, and then it's in the Scorpion in November, and then in December it's in the Archer, which is also known as Sagittarius. But the sun now, in its movement, every day it just moves slightly towards, remember it's 4 minutes, 4 minutes every day until it reaches the other constellation. It's deep stuff, but it's a story. The heavens is telling you a story. When the sun comes out of the Virgin, it goes into the scale. I just said that the woman was in travail, bawling, lying on her back to give birth to a child that should rule the nations. The next constellation after the Virgin is the scale, which is the symbol of the ruler. Christianity and religion in general is very symbolic. A lot of us were literal, so we forget that. So anytime you see a picture of Michael the archangel, you have a sword in one hand and you have a scale in the other hand. You understand? So what I'm saying here with all of this now, because I don't want to lose the audience in this astronomical class, the point I'm making is that Greencastle Hill is connected to all of this. All of this gibberish is sound like I spit in here.
Yeah, it's been a
Well, I
gibberish.
mean to something.
No,
The
no,
movement-
do not underestimate our
I-
listeners. Do not listen. Do not underestimate their intelligence. Mhm.
No, sir, I'm not underestimating. But, so I'm just showing you that what we have here is the movements of the heavens. That's why now in the winter solstice, you find the sun to its most southern part within its movement. Remember, the earth has a 23.5 degree tilt. So because of that tilt and the wobble that the earth has, again, it gives the impression as if the sun goes to the north and then goes back to the south and then goes back to the north. So every 21st to 23rd of December, you find the sun to its most southern point in the zodiac belt. You find the sun to its most southern point in the ecliptic belt. That means now the sun is lodged in the Archer constellation at that time. And anything after the 23rd day of December, then the sun would start to go slowly but surely back to the north. So that's why on the 21st of June now, you find the sun at its most northern part within the zodiac belt, and that is what we call summer. So this is why we celebrate the winter solstice, the equinoxes, both spring and fall, and the summer solstice, and that is why we highlight Greencastle Hill at this time, because the megaliths, remember, everywhere in the world that you have megalithic sites, people flock to these sites to celebrate these equinoxes and the solstices.
You're saying this right in time. He's the Minister of Tourism, right?
I think I've met him sometime.
Yes,
Yes, my brother, I'm just putting it forward. But the point I'm making is that this is why even the good minister would know. We appeared before cabinet, and this
Yes.
is something that we encourage, because I myself have visited Stonehenge during these peak times, and the amount of people that you see there, you could hardly see the stones. You understand? And I know once our product is advertised properly or promoted, marketed properly to the world, we wouldn't be able to control the influx of people that will come here, especially at these peak times, just to, take in the rocks. For example, we have the solstice experience. It's more than the hill. This year we have a guest coming in from New York. He should be here tonight, to be honest. And we have someone coming in from St. Kitts as well. These are what we do. We take them for the island tour, so they see the island and the different sites that we have available. And of course, we do a morning hike. We'll be having a morning hike on Friday morning.
This coming Friday.
This Friday, yes.
But the
yes.
only thing you tell me here is the Sunday. Is the morning hike a private thing?
No, it's not necessarily private, but we consider that most people at that time will be going to work. So
Yes.
we highlight the Sunday event,
Mhm.
and we encourage the whole nation to come out on Sunday. This hike is going to be early. We're gathering at 1 o'clock at the Ebenezer gas station, because we intend to have, the Nyabingi drumming and different little aspects that we're going to keep it on a festive level. And, it gets dark by 5 o'clock, so by 4:30 we're already down the hill, And for those who have never come on the hike, all you have to do is just to wear your hiking clothes, walk with a bottle of water, and you're good to go.
Telephone numbers?
For more information, you could contact me at 721-3773. That's 721-3773. Or
There's another number here, 721-0010. Priest, here's hoping that this weekend will be a success.
Surely.
And if I get the chance, I should really try to get you back here before Christmas. Let's talk about that lady who brought to the world the ruler of the world.
Yes, my lord.
Always a pleasure, my
I like
brother.
that.
Here's hoping again there's a success. I see you took
I
out
like
some
that,
mention
I like
here, so I'll make certain that, of course, I get it out there. We're looking at the time, it's 3 o'clock, and I have some things here for the minister, and I don't want to shortchange him this
I
afternoon.
must say, that's why I like to say Merry Christmas, eh?
Merry Christmas.
Merry, yeah.